Ever get that feeling, when you're stuck in traffic or on a long commute, and you just wish you could use that time to learn something new? Well, what if I told you you could actually nourish your mind, even on the go?
Sounds pretty intriguing. What did you have in mind?
Today's mindful moment.
Okay, imagine this. Christmas rolls around and you just opt out completely. No crazy shopping trips, no endless parties, no fruitcake debates. Just nothing.
It sounds maybe appealing on some level, but our sources today really dig into what happens when someone tries it. We're looking at John Grisham's novel, Skipping Christmas.
That's right, the story of Luther and Nora Crank, who decide to do exactly that, skip the whole thing.
And our main source is the novel itself. It gives us the narrative, what happens, but also what the Cranks are thinking and feeling inside.
So our goal here is to unpack why they make this choice, what kind of reactions they get from, well, everyone, and what their big experiment tells us about the holidays, community pressure, all of that.
And maybe as you listen, think about your own, let's call them mindful moments around the holidays. The pressures, the good stuff, the choices you make.
So the whole idea gets started because their daughter, Blair, she's off to Peru with the Peace Corps for 2 years.
Right. So it's the first Christmas she won't be home. And that seems to be the trigger, especially for Luther.
Yeah, Luther has this immediate, really negative feeling about the whole holiday thing starting right after Thanksgiving. He has this awful experience at the airport.
Oh, the airport scene?
Right.
Yeah, just the crowds, the stress. It really sours him on the whole idea of holiday travel and kind of the whole season kickoff.
And then it continues. He goes to the grocery store just for, white chocolate and pistachios for Nora.
And it's another nightmare, right? Packed parking lot, the prices are ridiculous.
$6 for pistachios. He can't believe it. And then he gets splashed by some slushy mess someone dropped. It just piles up.
It's like all these little annoyances build up into this bigger resentment towards the commercial side of Christmas, the hassle. It really makes him stop and think.
And he actually sits down and does the math. He figures out they spent, over $6,000 last Christmas.
$6,100, yeah.
Yeah.
Decorations, all the gifts, the parties, the works.
And he calculates that's 9% of their adjusted gross income, which is a lot.
It really is. And seeing that number, that percentage, it kind of crystallizes the financial weight of the holiday for him. It puts a dollar figure on the stress.
So with Blair gone and this huge cost looming, Luther comes up with an alternative.
His big idea. Forget Christmas, let's take a 10-day Caribbean cruise instead. Escape everything.
Avoid the expense, avoid the obligations, just relax. Nora, though, she's not immediately on board.
No, not at all. I mean, skipping Christmas, it goes against everything they usually do. It feels wrong to her initially. She's thinking about the traditions, the feel of it all.
Luther really pushes the financial angle, though. Look how much we'll save. Think of the sunshine.
And eventually, they sort of negotiate a compromise.
Okay, what was the deal?
They agree they'll still make their usual charitable donations. That seems important to Nora, keeping that spirit of giving.
Right, so they're not totally Scrooging out on charity.
Exactly. But everything else, no tree, no party, no gifts, no Frosty the Snowman on the roof. All that money goes towards the cruise.
So, decision made. They're skipping Christmas, going on a cruise. Inside their house, it's settled. But it doesn't stay private for long, does it?
Not on Hemlock Street, no way.
Yeah.
The neighborhood reaction is immediate and pretty strong. It starts small.
The Boy Scouts selling Christmas trees.
Yep. They come to the door. Luther politely says, no thanks. And the kids are just baffled. Their parents, too.
Yeah.
It's the first sign that this isn't going to be simple.
And then things escalate with Vic Frohmeyer. He's sort of the unofficial mayor of Hemlock Street Christmas.
He definitely is. And when he finds out the Cranks aren't participating specifically, not putting up Frosty, he sends this memo.
A memo, demanding they put up their inflatable Frosty because it's part of the street's tradition.
It really shows how strong the pressure is. It's not just, oh, be nice if you decorated. It's, you need to decorate for the good of the street. Participation is almost mandatory.
And meanwhile, everyone else is going all out. The Trogdons next door, the Shields across the street, lights, wreaths, the whole 9 yards.
Making the Cranks' dark, undecorated house stick out like a sore thumb. It's a very visible statement, even if they didn't intend it to be quite so loud.
And Frohmeyer's son, Spike, he gets involved too, right? Kind of snooping around.
Yeah, Spike becomes this little neighborhood watch guy, constantly checking on the Crank house, reporting back. It adds this layer of, surveillance.
Nora has some tough moments, too. She goes to this Christmas luncheon.
Oh, right. And her friend Leela makes that comment about them saving money by skipping Christmas.
Yeah, really pointed. And it clearly hurts Nora, makes her feel judged, maybe a bit ashamed, even though it was Luther's idea initially.
It taps into that awkwardness around money and choices, how easily people can assume things or judge you for not following the script.
Even carolers become an issue. They show up, sing at the dark house.
And the cranks are hiding inside. The carolers just keep singing, almost willing them to participate. It shows how the community just can't quite compute someone opting out. It challenges their whole shared experience.
You know, thinking about these community dynamics, how groups react when someone steps outside the norm, it's a theme you see a lot in stories. For folks interested in that kind of analysis in literature, there's actually an AI audiobook analysis YouTube channel, Mindful Moments, in our podcasts, that sometimes touches on similar themes.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that pressure to conform is powerful. And for the cranks, it all culminates in
The newspaper. They end up in the local paper. Headline, "Skipping Christmas," with a picture of their house, their dark, undecorated house.
talk about public exposure. Their private decision is suddenly neighborhood news.
So while all this external pressure is building, Luther is trying hard to, embrace his anti-Christmas stance.
He is. He's hiding from the carolers. He's going for tanning sessions to get ready for the cruise.
Tans forever with Daisy and Daniela. He's really leaning into the escape fantasy, picturing the beach, the sun.
He seems pretty determined to see it through. But Nora, maybe not so much.
Yeah, Nora seems to be struggling more. You get the sense she misses the traditions, the decorating, the party.
And she keeps thinking Blair might call on Christmas Eve. There's this underlying sadness, this pull towards what they usually do, even with the stress it brings. The emotional connection is still there.
When the phone rings, Christmas Eve.
The call they weren't expecting. It's Blair.
From Miami. Her Peace Corps thing finished early. She's coming home.
She's bringing her new fiancé, Enrique, who she met in Peru. And they're expecting the full crank Christmas experience.
Ah, the irony. The entire plan to skip Christmas just evaporates instantly.
Total panic mode. They have, hours?
Yeah.
To conjure up Christmas from scratch.
Yeah.
A party, decorations, food, presents, everything they deliberately avoided.
The scramble is just frantic. Luther has to go hat in hand to borrow a tree from the Trogdons.
And he needs Spike Frohmeyer's help to even carry it. The kid he's been dodging.
Meanwhile, Nora's desperately trying to buy food and gifts, but it's Christmas Eve, the stores are basically empty, it's pure chaos.
It's like all the stress they tried to avoid has come back tenfold, compressed into a few hours.
And then comes the Frosty incident. In the middle of all this madness, Luther tries to put up the inflatable Frosty after all.
And promptly falls off the roof.
Yes. Leading to neighbors, the fire department, the police, everyone showing up. The man trying to skip Christmas causes a huge Christmas Eve commotion.
It's almost slapstick, but it also feels like the universe saying you can't escape that easily.
But then something pretty amazing happens, doesn't it? After all the tension, the memos, the gossip.
The neighborhood rallies completely.
Yeah.
Once they hear Blair is coming home and the cranks are in a panic, everyone on Hemlock Street steps up.
People just start showing up with food, decorations, bringing gifts for Blair and Enrique, helping set up the party.
It's this incredible turnaround. All that earlier judgment seems to melt away, replaced by this wave of community spirit and generosity. It's quite moving, actually.
So Blair and Enrique arrive, and they walk into this full-blown, warm, festive Christmas party thrown together by the entire street.
They have no idea about the drama, the skipping Christmas plan. They just see this wonderful welcome.
And then Luther does something really unexpected.
Yeah, during the party, he finds out that their neighbor, Bev Scheel, her cancer has come back.
And he gives them the cruise tickets. They're non-refundable 10-day Caribbean cruise tickets.
He gives them to Walt and Bev Scheel. Yeah. Just like that. A huge act of kindness, completely spontaneous.
Yeah, it shows a different side of Luther, doesn't it? Beyond the frustration and the cost-cutting, there's real empathy there when it counts.
Absolutely. And in the end, Blair's return, the community coming together, Luther's gift, it all seems to make them realize something.
That maybe skipping Christmas wasn't the answer they thought it was.
Exactly. Trying to avoid the stress and the cost.
Yeah.
They almost missed out on the connection, the unexpected warmth, the importance of being there for family, and yes, even the neighbors.
The pull of those relationships, the traditions, even the messy ones, turned out to be stronger than their desire to just escape it all.
So yeah, their plan to bypass Christmas kind of backfired, but in a way that ended up highlighting why these things matter, The family, the community bonds, those moments you can't plan for.
It makes you wonder, doesn't it? When we try to skip out on things, traditions, responsibilities, maybe just engaging with people, what do we actually end up losing?
That's a great question. What connections, what unexpected moments of generosity or understanding might we miss when we try too hard to insulate ourselves or avoid the hassle?
Definitely something to think about. Well, if this story got you thinking, please subscribe to our show for more discussions like this one.
And maybe share it with someone you think might find the Cranks experience relatable or interesting.
If you want to read the full story yourself, check out the link in the show notes to purchase Skipping Christmas.
And most importantly, keep thinking critically. Keep reflecting on the traditions and choices in your own life. Thanks for tuning in.